Welcome to coverage of the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs at Road America. I'm Jim Trado along with Dorsey Schrader, and we're going to be seeing some GT2 action. The Gumma GT2 National Championship race about to unfold. 13 laps here on day 3 of an action-packed weekend, and this is going to be an exciting race to watch, Dorsey. These GT2 cars really mix it up.
And hopefully these guys won't mix it up as much as Mr. Kramer and Mr. Wolf's guys have done this morning. Full-on race cars here, 2-frame silhouette bodies, high horsepower cars. Mark Bowden, Porsche GT3 champion, past champion, is on the pole. One of the things that I kind of disagree with SCCA running a brand new GT3 Cup car production factory missile against some 20 and 30-year-old chassis. However, it is what it is. He has been the dominant character for several of the last years. Mark Bowden has. You see his fall line Porsche there in front of Jim Goffrey's aging Nissan 350Z. That's actually not that aging. It's more of a current model. But these are full race cars. In the case of the Porsche, it is a tub car. In other words, it's a monocoque car that is built by Porsche. It's a full-on race car. The rest of these cars are fiberglass bodies over tube frame, with the exception of that car.
And Bowden is in the contention for a super sweep, meaning that in SCCA competition, he's won his division. He's won the national points title, as well as one of the 9 key races throughout the country. In the each of the divisions, get a key race designated. If you win that and the runoffs, as well as your division in national points.
And I should actually say, it's not just Mark Bowden in that 996 GT3. There are 6 of these, or 7 of these factory Porsche missiles in this field. So obviously this is the preferred way of doing business if you want to run in GT2 in today's rulings.
And they're rolling off. Mark Bowden is in contention for the super sweep. We mentioned Goffrey there in that 2003 Nissan. And Pete Peterson, you can't count him out anywhere he races.
Pete Peterson, more national champions than anybody in this field, but since they've gone to this deal, of course, it's a little different.
And we're joined by John Bizignano on pit road. He's got a quick comment here before we turn them loose for their warm-up lap. Biz, welcome to the broadcast, and what's going on with GT2 that you'd like to share with us?
Well, guys, this is a beautiful class. It's very important to manufacturers. A lot of point of pride down here. But just to speak about the 2 guys up front, that 45 and the 46 cars, very capable drivers. Where do they have an advantage over one another? The GT3, beautiful Porsche, he has a higher top speed, where the Nissan is a better with the point-to-point acceleration. Around Road America, that's going to have a lot play into how they race. These guys have gone wheel-to-wheel with each other all year long, and they'll keep on doing it for the national championship here at Road America. The Nissan is 400 pounds lighter, and that helps the point-to-point acceleration also. Okay, guys, we'll see how they stir all that up. It's going to be fun down Thunder Rally here at Road America. Back to you guys.
Absolutely. 14 corners here to decide a national championship. 13 laps or 40 minutes is the time duration. We have a couple of races already today cut short on time. And we will tell you who the starters are and who the stars to watch in the Gumma GT2 National Championship. The front row, we mentioned Mark Bowden on the pole. Outside of him, Jim Goffrey, the 08 winner. In row number 2, Pete Peterson, 7-time winner in GT3. This is GT2. Peterson in the number 98 Toyota Solara that Dwayne Davis sat on the pole with here a couple years back. Tom Patton starts 4th in the number 50. And he's the Great Lakes Division champion in the 1967 Sunbeam Tiger. I love that car. It's going to be fun to watch in this race as well. Row number 3, David Cornier from North Saanich, British Columbia. NORPAC Division winner as well. This is his first ever SCCA National Championship run at Road America. Starting in 6th, the 03 of Brooks Potter out of Boise, Idaho. Finished 15th here last year in the ASCO Motorsports Porsche 996 GT3 Cup. Row number 4, Mark Jurczyk, the number 2 machine from Chicago. He had the silver medal a year ago in the Players Chicago Porsche 996 GT3 Cup. We mentioned there's 7 of them in this race. Crispin Bieber, the young man out of Neosho, Missouri, has finished 2nd in the Midwest Division. He drives the Royal Purple. Tinus Construction Mazda RX-7. Right in the row behind him in row number 5, starting 9th, the 77 of Evan Bell of Littleton, Colorado. This is his first runoffs in the Two Bells Racing. Stevenson Porsche. Starting in the next position next to him in row number 5 and in the 10th spot. It's Tim Gray in the number 60 machine. We just caught a glimpse of him on screen from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. He finished 6th here in the June sprint. So good job by Tim. He got some track time here this season. We'll see how that plays out here in the National Championship run. Row number 6 is Charles Cook in the 21 machine. It's his 5th runoffs on the Liberty Pumps Panos Esperante GTS. And outside of him in row number 6 is the 49 of Tom Velasic in his 7th runoffs. His best finish was 7th back in 1971 in G production. So as far as club racing, Tom's been around a long time. Well, enjoying to see his run here at Road America. Our final row, starting 13th, the number 80 of Tony Giordano out of Overland Park, Kansas. Midwest Division champion is Nissan 280Z. And David Dirks, the number 76 machine, will represent the Rocky Mountain Division as their champion. Finished third here in the June Sprint. So a packed field. We mentioned Porsches, Nissans, Mazdas, and one Sunbeam Tiger. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That Sunbeam Tiger is a perennial favorite amongst the fans. Built in 1967, has a small block Ford before even the 289 cubic inch Ford was even invented. That little sports car was, of course, its forte is going to be straight line speed. Handling in the 60s, not that good.
Tom Patton, I guess that car got pretty wadded up at Heartland Park, so glad to see it's back finally in running order. And Tom's pretty satisfied thus far this weekend by qualifying fourth in that Sunbeam.
No spares for that car laying around, I guarantee you.
No, I imagine you got to make your own, right?
Well, a lot of it you do. You know, there's still Sunbeam Tigers and Sunbeam Alpines, which is the same chassis, relatively speaking, around, but not very many. You don't see them on every corner.
And you get to see it in the new movie by Steve Carell, Get Smart, the original Sunbeam Tiger from that movie with Maxwell Smart, and that car was in the museum. If you watch the movie, that's kind of what a Sunbeam Tiger was as the origins, but this is a pretty modified piece here.
Yeah, no wing on the back of the original. I don't know if those were even invented then yet.
Well, we're getting ready here. It looks like the pace car will come in off of turn number 14 and get a 14-turn course. The second year Road America's hosted the National Championship Runoffs. This is one of 29 classes to decide who's going to get the gold, silver, and bronze in the Olympics of road racing. Coming up the hill for the first time under full song. Here again, these guys had 3 days to practice, post times, and run. Pace car is keeping a very deliberate, slow pace here. And the Gumma GT2 National Championship race comes up the hill to take the green to begin their run for the gold.
Wow, Jim Goffrey with a big jump at the start so far. If it sticks, now it looks like he's going to back off.
Mark Bowden is on the pole in the number 45 machine on the inside. Very steady pace now. Bowden pulls even. Goffrey trying to stay even as well in that 46 machine. And Goffrey, through the middle of the racetrack, will take the lead up the front stretch.
And as you said before, that point scored, or Biz did, John Bizignano pointed out that car is, in fact, faster on acceleration from it's on a restart like that.
That Sunbeam's in the third, and it's still side-by-side to determine it. We've had some passes on the outside of turn number 1 in the start, on the outside in the first corner. Not this time, though, as Bowden holds point here in the Porsche.
Outside of turn 1 is not a bad place on a start because you're not up to terminal speed yet to attempt to make a pass, because bigger, longer radius gives you a run down to that brake zone in turn 3.
Got a quick peek at Mark Jurczyk, qualified a disappointing 7th. He finished 2nd here last year, his best run in 3 runoffs to date. He will be in contention here in the back. Bowden leads Goffrey right now. Then comes Pete Peterson in the number 98 machine, a GT3 champ 7 times over, racing here in GT2. He's got 2 cars here this weekend, here running both classes.
Now, side by side with Tom Patton as the Sunbeam Tiger will get the run up the hill, and of course with that V8 power will outpower the smaller engine.
Peterson to the inside here. He's gotten 3rd now from Patton, and look at this.
Trying to get 3rd from Patton, but he's on the wrong side as they go into turn 7.
Your leaders break away a bit. Patton is in that Sunbeam convertible. That red car behind him is Pete Peterson. Peterson now able to clear. Oh boy, Peterson sets up wide, and look at that, 2 wide.
Here come all the 996 Porsches I was talking about.
Like he's kind of fighting his way through with his elbows out, isn't he?
Well, you can do that.
Figuratively, naturally.
GT3 Porsches, and that's a very strong package, no question about it.
There's Brooks Potter in that blue number 03 Porsche, the ASCA Motorsports machine out of the SOPAC division. Peterson now settles in here in that red number 98 Toyota Solara. Into 3rd, into 4th. Wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. 5th right now.
Pete does a good job with Toyota. He's been a Toyota driver for many, many years. Factory supported guy. Gets the most out of his equipment for sure.
Tom Patton in the Sunbeam runs 3rd. Running 4th right now, I believe, is the 24 of David Cormier. Then comes Pete Peterson. You got to think his involvement and his investment of time with Toyota has had to pay off dividends on the production side of things, because Pete's been around. This is his 23rd runoffs. There's got to be stuff on here that you can find in your car at home. Oh, no question about that. These cars are developed so much by the fact that you race them. You know, you find out not so much the tube frame cars, because your street car isn't a tube frame, but that GT3 Porsche is a street-derived race car. I mean, it's got safety modifications to it, but that's one thing Porsche prides themselves in, is that their race cars are their street cars. And that Porsche of Cormier able to hold off the red Toyota of Pete Peterson into turn number 1 here. So Cormier is back in the 4th position, Peterson 5th, Potter is in 6th now in a Porsche, 7th is Crispin Bieber.
Crispin Beaver in that little yellow RX-7 Mazda, older chassis, no doubt about it, but he's making himself known in this class right now, doing everything he can to be a nuisance to the guys around him.
And last year he ran Spec Miata, so this is a whole different ballgame for him at this level.
Yeah, this is much more car than a Spec Miata. You know, these are real race cars. Spec Miata, again, a street-derived race car. Here's a good pass to the outside, 996 Porsche again, around the... Oh, but a little wide, and watch the V8 power.
Here comes the Sunbeam.
Patton will go right by.
Wants that third spot back, and now Patton in the 50 will have to give it up, or does he? Oh, nice outside move there.
Well, like
is that bottom end that he's got on these guys?
Yeah, well, strong point on that. The only strong thing that thing has is a V8 under the hood. I mean, it's got a lot of engine. It doesn't have a lot of brakes, doesn't have the handling that these other guys have.
That's Tom Patton in the number 50.
So he'll
1967 Sunbeam Tiger to Hamilton, Ohio. He won the GT2 race in 1999.
He'll score it away on these restarts. If you get in traffic, he's got the advantage. If you get slowed down, he's got the advantage. That car will accelerate harder than any of the other cars. Bottom end, like you say, it's definitely got the most powerful engine, but not the best aero, not the best handling.
Through the kink here. They're getting spread out a little bit. Again, this is the battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Right there, that yellow car is Crispin Beaver in the 7th position.
You know, looking back at the June sprints, only 2 of the guys in the runoffs here today even competed. There were only 4 cars in the June sprints in GT2. The winner, Mark Bowden, who's leading currently. And the 3rd place car started dead last today. David Dirks, unfortunately, didn't get any time in during the course of the weekend.
Boy, Beaver certainly figured out this RX-7 in a hurry. That yellow machine takes 2 spots on the final corner.
That was
inside
handling.
of Peterson. Wow, what a macho move there.
That was handling all the way. He just drove down the inside, did a great job, but look, no power.
Oh, 3 wide. Thanks, Crispin. It was fun getting past. Here's my taillights.
That is so hard to deal with. You do the brave move. You're the hero. You do the drive part of the corner. Take 2 positions, and they just drive around you in the straightaway.
And that's Brooks Potter in that white on blue 03 Porsche behind Pete Peterson's red Toyota. They both got past Crispin, and here comes Beaver again.
Beaver needs to drive the straightaways better. And that's just a joke, of course.
That straightaway handling isn't quite there.
The straightaway handling is not the forte of the Mazda right here.
It's certainly eating up the rear bumper there of Pete Peterson. They had Peterson in the red number 98. He won the GT3 category, and this is the GT2 category, the Gaumont GT2 National Championship. We'll see the GT3 racers a little bit later on this afternoon.
Bigger engines in these cars and bigger tires and overall weight of the car than what we're going to look at later. Not as agile, but definitely more horsepower.
Up the hill, Peterson a bit wide there off of 5. And he is swarmed by Porsches here, with the one exception of that yellow Mazda. 3rd and 4th in frame there is Patton and Cormier in the number 24 Porsche, that all-white machine behind that Sunbeam. Then comes Pete Peterson. 03 of Brooks Potter out of Boise, Idaho, running the SOPAC division. Bringing together the nation's best road racers is what the SCCA National Championship Runoffs does on an annual basis. No points on the line. This is amateur racing, but man, these guys really put it to it. They race across the country, step in their division, out of the division. The June Sprints we mentioned is the biggest conglomeration outside of the runoffs each year. That's held annually here, with the Chicago region hosting that here at Road America each June.
And Crispin Beaver in that 38 Mazda really doing the most driving per lap of anybody here. His forte is in the corner, and unfortunately gets blown away down the straightaway, but boy, does he get the job done when he gets to the corner. He's on the outside, he's on the inside, he's putting the race to him, he's taking it right to these guys.
And the drivers that started on their front row remain 1-2. This is the race leader, Mark Bowden, the number 45 machine, out of Winnetka, Illinois. Line Motorsports there has come with a bunch of race cars, and this one's a strong one. Bowden, I believe, is racing in 3 different classes. This, by far, his run to the Super Sweep continues here, a very strong run, as we've now completed lap number 3 of 13.
On paper, this is a walk-away win, easy win, no contention whatsoever. He's won everything up here. He's had the pole, he's on the pole again, he's run the sprints. You know, this car is just the class of the field, and I say the car, not just saying that he's not a great driver too, but you know, that particular race car on this racetrack is really strong. Jim Goffrey, on the other hand, doing everything he can with the 350Z.
He found the bronze medal run last year to his liking, but at 25 runoffs now. This is his 25th. So Jim Goffrey Sr., as far as his participation and seeing that Porsche get ahead of him, he's going to go to work just like it's his first runoffs.
Oh, he's not going to give up. That's for sure. Again, going back to Crispin, in the middle, the yellow car there. Watch the tenacity he is showing in this race. He really does. I mean, it's really hard at Road America with these long straightaways to have a car that's down in straightaway speed and make anything good of it. He's making the best he can of it because he is so strong under braking.
Whoa, look at this move. Patton goes to the outside, and 2 cars squirt underneath him quickly here. It's Cormier and Peterson.
See, again, the Sunbeam straightaway speed. That's all he's got to work with here.
He went wide there. Maybe he said, hey, guys, if you want to get me there, you can get me into 5. I'll get at least one of you back here, going up into 7 and then down to 8. Cormier in that white Porsche ahead of the 50 of Patton here. This is for third, excuse me.
That car is the heaviest of all the cars out there. I'm talking about the Sunbeam Tiger. Because of the V8, it's heavy. It doesn't handle as well, doesn't brake as well as the more agile cars. It does, on the other hand, out-accelerate. As you'll see right here, watch as Patton comes off this corner. He will probably go right by the Porsche in front of him before he gets to the kink. Here he comes. He's in the draft. Nope, he's going to lay back.
We're out of British Columbia racing here at Road America in the National Championship Runoffs in the Gumma GT2 National Championship, trying to take that 3rd spot and keep it from Tom Patton.
Godfrey with a good run right there behind us.
And Pete Peterson.
Actually, it wasn't Godfrey. It's Crispin again.
Yep.
Like I told you, that guy is just working. He's working harder than anybody out there with that little Mazda.
The yellow number 38 machine of Crispin Beaver out of Neosho, Missouri.
And look at him. Look at him up through the grass, 2 wheels in the grass, works around the outside. That's what I'm talking about. He's using that car up in the corners.
He used up a lot of the racetrack as well, spit some dirt back on the racetrack.
Evan Bell in the 77 Porsche with a half spin back there. You saw him kind of regaining momentum.
Bell started back in the 9th position, was scored 9th on that last lap, and again, he lost a lot of time there behind this pack.
Right now, Crispin Beaver is my hero. That car right there. I mean, he is flat driving the wheels off that thing, and the only thing he's lacking is this, the straightaway. He just gets eaten alive as you see it happening.
There's Brooks Potter giving him a pass here into turn 1.
But watch this. He'll go right back to the inside. He says, well, now I got corners in my favor, so you're not done with me, and I'm not done with you. See that? Takes that position right back. Just driving the wheels off the car, doing a hell of a job.
A lot of fun to watch here, and you have a chance to do it here at Road America. This is a wonderful place to watch from anywhere at the racetrack. Crispin Beaver putting on a display here. You can really be this close to the action. Now, maybe not this close because we're inside the wall, but man, it's fun to watch.
Watch here, though. Now, see, he's on the straightaway. 17-year-old kid doing a heck of a job. Watch this. He doesn't have the top end, but he sure got braking and cornering. He's using every bit of what he's got to work with. And that's what I've said about these classes, mixed classes with different types of cars. Your car's going to be strong at one thing or another. You got to work what you got. That's what he's doing. He's working that car to death in the corners.
And he's wearing it out. He's got Brooks Potter behind him, who's only able to get him going up the front stretch here. So he's gapping a little bit now.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a tough racetrack for that car. You get that car to a racetrack that doesn't have these real long straightaways 3 times a lap, it'd be much more competitive. But he definitely lacks top-end speed. He's not lacking courage or aggression, I can tell you that. Look at him work the corner.
Crispin Beaver, 2 wins on the season in the Midwest Division. Great run here. Again, the only award, gold, silver, and bronze, but the hero award for this race from Dorsey goes to Crispin thus far.
Right now, he's doing a heck of a job. He really is. I mean, he's the most aggressive driver out there.
Tom Patton, that Sunbeam, trying to hold off Pete Peterson.
That was a big touch. Big air, too. They just climbed on top of each other. Peterson got airborne. There's going to be damage to one of those, if not both cars.
The left front fender on Peterson's car is damaged. He went over the right rear of that Sunbeam.
And he had the front of the Toyota all the way on top of that Sunbeam Tiger. And that was outside the kink, so you're talking about well into the over 100-mile-per-hour category.
A lot of smoke. That's tire up, no question. The body's rubbing on that Sunbeam, and Pete Peterson's right front, you can see that left front, excuse me, you can see that damage.
That could have been an absolutely huge crash. If Pete's car would have launched any higher and got any more up in the air at that speed, it could have blown over. For Patton, he's going to have to come in and get that worked on, or he'll have a flat. He's really rubbing the right rear pretty bad.
And these guys are limping away now down the front stretch. They did not pull down pit road, and Crispin Beaver's closing in on these 2. Patton now slowing off the pace in the Sunbeam. Here comes the 0-3 of Brooks Potter. Yep, he's definitely off the pace. He knows there's an issue here. The right rear he thought maybe was savable, but perhaps the crew radioed him. It's rubbing big time.
See, the fender flare right rear of the Sunbeam is gone. Take a look. We're gonna show you a replay and watch it. So it just comes in the view all of a sudden. Watch the red car right here when we see it.
Boom!
Way up in the air.
Major air.
Way up in the air. That's 130 miles an hour in those cars. Really lucky that wasn't a much bigger incident. That was
If we
the
can, let's see it
exit.
one more time here, because we caught going in here. Right there, they made contact.
And look at that. Way up there. I mean, that was just a tremendous amount of luck that keeps that car from not blowing over, and good driving skills by Pete Peterson once it landed to keep it going straight.
And that's Tom Patton's car. He's pulling off in 5 now.
Yeah, that I knew there was going to be damage. Probably both those cars will succumb to that hit. That was a very big hit and a very lucky ending for what could have been worse.
Well, there goes Mark Bowden out of the carousel, and he leads now. Jim Goffrey, the 24 machine of David Cormier. Those are your medal contention positions right now. Peterson still holds on to 4th. Crispin Bieber runs 5th. We'll take a break and come right back with more action from the Gumout GT2 National Championship event, part of the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs here at Road America. Stay tuned.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gumout.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
Welcome back to the exciting run of the Gumout GT2 National Championship race. This is Pete Peterson still hanging on track in that red Toyota with that damage in 4th position. Crispin Bieber. Well, now let's talk about perhaps a medal run for him. Not a caution, nothing going on there. Patton pulled off. There's no stoppage in the action. Crispin's got to make up some time here. Mark Bowden's got a sizable lead over Jim Goffrey. It's a 1.1 second lead, but then it's 13 seconds back to Cormier. Then Peterson comes in 4 seconds behind this. So the red car, Peterson running 4th, some 17 seconds back of the lead.
Peterson's car, of course, has that damaged left front fender. That's aero damage for sure on these straightaways. Opening up that gap to the wheel is going to slow him up just a little bit. Also, I got to wonder if he's, bent that toe link. He hit pretty hard on the back of the Sunbeam. Didn't surprise me. And then he came down, correct. Because he was up in the air quite a bit. So you got to wonder if he's knocked the front end alignment a little askew on that car. Crispin Bieber, on the other hand, doesn't care what it is. He's looking at a podium, and I told you, he is driving the wheels off that little Mazda.
Peterson in 4th, Bieber in 5th. Through the carousel here. And Peterson's going, obviously fast enough to hold off Bieber right now, so perhaps he's going to give it all it's worth here.
Well, he's going to have a lot of straightaway speed over the Mazda, no doubt about that, but if that tire is bent...
Even the left front fender, if that starts peeling away or the bumper cover starts flapping.
If he's knocked the toe in off on that car, he's going to get some tire wear, and it's going to degrade as he goes further into this race. Don't see any smoke or anything, so it's not a tire rub issue, but he's definitely opened up an air inlet where it wasn't before, so it's going to slow him up on top speed.
That's Pete Peterson in the red number 98 again. A big incident there running with Tom Patton. They got together off the kink, and we captured it here on our SpeedcastTV.com cameras, and that's the damage result for Peterson, and Patton's out of it. Here is the race leader now, Mark Bowden. He's not checking out. He had a 9-second lead last year at the finish line of this one.
Jim Goffrey really doing a whale of a job with that Nissan.
Cut off 4/10 that lap.
Has run him down. Now we got to watch this, because I got to wonder now if the Porsche's starting to use its rear tires as something that the Porsches tend to want to do. It's not a hot day outside. That doesn't mean that it won't slow up at the back end a little bit.
Bowden won all 8 of the races he posted in his division to win the National Points Championship and the division in the Central.
Boy, Goffrey's right there. He's up in the draft now. He was way back, as you remember. Takes a look to the inside. I think he's just out there maybe getting clean air. He might be getting engine temperature up a little bit. It looks like he just moved over to get some air in the radiator.
Bowden won this event last year. The year prior was Jim Goffrey. These are the 2 leaders now. They decided we're working lap number 8 of 13 of the Gumout GT2 National Championship race.
Front car, the Porsche, a factory-built race car. Goffrey's car, the Nissan, if you want to call it, such a home-built race car. I'm sure that car had help with the chassis chops here in the United States, but it was built here, and it was built by Goffrey and his mechanics.
Well, getting back to what Biz said in the very opening of this broadcast, talking about the pride in the manufacturer's run. There's representatives here from Toyota at every level, Honda. The tire manufacturers are here in a big way as well, but they are all hoping that their manufacturer wins, and there's something to put in the headlines tomorrow.
I'm sure Jim Goffrey gets some sort of support from Nissan with that effort, whether it be financial or parts or whatever. That Nissan always, of course it was Datsun when I ran it, was always supportive of us guys that were running amateur, and they would do anything they could to help us out.
This is the Gumout GT2 race, and Bowden now leads. It's not about seconds anymore, it's about car lengths as Jim Goffrey has closed in. They started on the front row together. Bowden on the pole, Goffrey is second. It was a very close in time as well. When it came to qualifications, 2:18.3 was Bowden's best, 2:19.3 was Goffrey's best, but that whole second out the window, man. That was days ago. That's history.
Performance on the Porsche is starting to lack a little bit, and it's usually on these cars, like I say, they tend to wear the rear tires. It's a rear engine car. That rear tire is carrying all the weight of the car and so forth. So as you run them hard, you can run the back off a little bit. In the meantime, though, Goffrey's car, that is Nissan, is catching.
That was another 4/10. Even with that Bowden charge up the hill here, he got a little bit of a gap on Goffrey, but that's now gone away already.
We don't see the Porsche sliding, but I don't really believe that Bowden would be backing off and allowed Goffrey to get this close to him either.
And Goffrey really closing in now. Look at that. One car length now the difference.
And that time the Porsche definitely stepped out on the exit of turn 3. Saw the back end, a little bit of a slide there. Watch for the pop-out maneuver.
Here we go, downhill into 5, Dorsey.
Favorite spot on this racetrack for overtaking, no doubt about it. And he's close enough.
Bowden kind of down the middle of the racetrack, holding the inside edge here, saying, I want the inside. If you want me, okay, you're behind me, I'm going to take the corner.
See, and it wasn't a block. It was, like you said, down the inside of the racetrack. It wasn't far left, he was just protecting his interest, if you will.
Yes, he will, because Bowden is looking for that elusive super sweep. Only the drivers that have won the National Points Championship, their division, and one of those key 9 races throughout the nation are eligible, if they win the runoffs, to complete and win the super sweep. Bowden is in contention for that award. And that fall line Porsche.
5 laps to go is a long way when you've got somebody hounding you like Jim Goffrey's doing Mark Bowden right now.
And Goffrey, again, he may lose a bit of distance, but he closes back up. It doesn't really seem to be consistent at any portion of the racetrack. So perhaps Goffrey's kind of pacing his own run here, trying to figure out where Bowden may have a weakness. It doesn't appear he has many right now.
Those are really good, well-developed race cars the Porsches are. I mean, they're raced all over the world by many, many, many different types of teams. The development is all in-house, if you will.
Well, even the Support and World Challenge, I mean, they've got engineers from Germany here all the time.
Yeah, it's a completely polished piece, if you will. There's not as many of those 350Zs running around in the world in race trim as you have that GT3 996 Porsche.
And again, that is the battle for the lead. Coming down the hill, there used to be a bridge over that area. They put in the Kohler Tunnel here at Road America, a couple of improvements. If you've not been here in a while, we're certainly enjoying the improvements that they continue to make at Road America. One of the finest facilities in North America, and really the elevation changes and the way it spreads out here. 4-mile course is a bit intimidating for some, but for club racers, this is the all-star game.
Well, pro racers too. This is a great racetrack, one of the best. It's a racetrack in the United States that all others should be looking at, because it's now it has a NASCAR race here, which I'm glad to see, and it is a real facility. I don't like these cookie-cutter racetracks that these guys are building nowadays. We've had a couple new race tracks built in the last couple of years, which are quite frankly boring.
Well, this one is far from boring. Mark Bowden's trying to make it boring, but Jim Goffrey will have nothing to do with it here. Off of turn 3, he closes in again in that Nissan.
Had a good run to that time. Jimmy's no doubt. He's tucked up underneath there. I think he'll make that pop out this time. Of course, Mark's going to take the middle of the road like he did last time as well.
And you can tell, man, they're flat on the ground here, flat on the floorboard with the gas. Now they're downshifting. Now they're hitting the brake. And again, Goffrey just not close enough here in that 46.
Boy, but the pressure's on. He's really starting to make it known. You know, he's trying to work an angle.
And it's really pressure from behind making Bowden work harder than he wants to. It's not his pace to run.
Here's Crispin Beaver again. We were watching that earlier. It looks like he might be by himself. Maybe
he dropped back in the 8th position. Do you think he might have run the tires off of Dorsey?
He could have. I don't know if he went with a soft combine. He sure was working the corners hard. He was having a good run there for 3rd place with Pete Peterson. Now he's back quite a way, so maybe he had a spin.
I think at 17 years of age, he might have to get back to high school tomorrow.
I wouldn't.
What'd you do over the weekend? Well, I ran third. I was on NationalSpeedcastTV.com. My friends could watch me, but
He got my attention. I'll tell you, he drove hard.
And that's the neat thing about this. I mean, kids that get the chance and they're racing against veterans like Pete Peterson in 24 national championship runoffs, I mean, that really gets your game going and wants you to improve your career. But really, as you did, Dorsey, working through the club level to get to the national points and national opportunities and being a pro racer, I mean, it is certainly a showcase here in SCCA for the national championship runoffs.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is, you come to these things, I say, you run your division against guys you race with all year, but then you come to the national runoffs, you run against the entire United States. And it's not just bragging rights. So we say it's for bragging rights only because there's no money involved, but it's more than that. It is. I mean, I made a career out of it. There's no question about it. I mean, my involvement here led on to me being a pro racer, led on to me doing all the 32 years that I was as a driver.
Mark Bowden driving, you're saying past tense, Dorsey. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm not driving anymore.
All right. We got Mark Bowden, the race leader, 3 laps from the finish here. We're working lap 11. And Jim Goffrey again on the hound. Running third, David Cormier. Fourth, Pete Peterson continues to run here. In the 4th position, 5th is now Mark Jurczyk.
Oh, here's got a good run. He had a look at turn 1. That was more of a fake thing, but this isn't fake now. Right now he's posturing. He's really being aggressive. He's decided it's time to make some sort of a move and make it stick.
Look at that. Bowden a bit off on the rumble strips off of 3 here.
That's the pressure, no question about it. Jim Goffrey's really applying the pressure pretty hard. He's got Bowden looking in the rearview mirror, paying more attention to what he's doing than placing the car on the racetrack where it needs to go. Watch this.
Into 5 this time. Again, Bowden very conservative on the inside. Just 1 car width off of the inside line. He pops out and takes the corner and stays ahead here.
Well, that was pretty good. Goffrey, I thought, was going to take a last minute, and it's not the last lap yet, but I think he will get desperate here in the next lap or two to stick it in there somewhere and make it. Oh! Spin! Both cars off track. That was a great job for
by
Goffrey.
Himself. Bowden lit him up off of turn number 6.
And Goffrey with a good save. Went around the outside, had to take to the grass because he knew the Porsche was going to hit him if he didn't.
Goffrey's eyes had to be as big as his windshield as he saw the race leader just ahead of him spin off of turn number 6. Both are able to stay righted. Unbelievable turn here as Mark Bowden on his way to a super sweep, holding on, but the pressure was building, Dorsey.
Goffrey read that perfect. We'll look at it again, and it's certainly Mark Bowden that made the mistake in the Porsche. The lead car gets into turn 6 with too much speed. You see him turn in. He's loose on entry. He's going to do it late spin. Now Goffrey sees it, knows the car's going to come that way, goes out to the grass. Great avoidance maneuver.
And you can see right where that runoff stops, that's exactly where Goffrey took the launch. He didn't launch off from the racetrack to dirt. It was where the runoff is, paved area there, just in the nick of time.
And
didn't do any damage.
Jim has raced long enough to know exactly the trajectory of Bowden's car. After the spin happened, he knew it was going to come out there. He knew he had to get to the far right and leave room for the wreck to happen. Good job.
Unbelievable run there, and Jim Goffrey, a great save. Bowden, again, decent save himself. I'm sure he's beating himself up and will be probably for the next 12 months. But in reality, Bowden was getting the pressure by a veteran like Jim Goffrey. And Goffrey in 25.
And I think on the Porsche's case for Mark Bowden, that the rear tires were getting heated up. It was slipping at the back end. That's notorious Porsche development if you run them really, really hard. And, of course, this has been a hard-fought race. The back end of those cars, the tires start to go away. It gets slippery, and I think that's what caught Mark out.
2 to go for Jim Goffrey, the race leader. Mark Bowden, the leader, flat out lost it off of turn number 6. Now tries to play catch-up here and run for the silver. Goffrey has a 4.6-second lead after that spin in turn 6.
And that pressure was applied for about 5 consecutive laps. Every corner. You saw how hard he was pushing him in the brake zone. Saw how hard he was ducking to the inside, taking looks at him. That disturbs you if you're the lead car, you know.
And to climb in his helmet, really, that when he was looking at 5, after 5, Goffrey was not anywhere close to passing him. So Bowden, thinking, okay, I got him behind me. I made it through 5. Can it be a mental lapse for just 2 seconds and say, okay, off of 6? Oh, boy, I missed up my exit.
Crispin Beaver there getting passed by 2 more cars. So his Mazda's day is done. He's back to about 10th or 11th right now. That's 9th and 10th just passed him.
Tim Gray in the 60 out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota here in that white and yellow Porsche. This is a good race here.
Absolutely.
The 71 machine of Gus Rosenberg running really strong here.
For Crispin Beaver, you know, the mechanical issue is what it is, but the first half of that race, he sure gave it what he could.
And this again is a race for 9th as Crispin Beaver has fallen back now.
Oh, somebody off
position.
Oh, that's Pete Peterson. Did not make turn 5. He's gone through the escape route and will continue on, I think, and go back to the pits and park it because
he had lost 4th position.
You lose that lap by doing what he did. He'll lose the lap. completely. I think he might have a flat tire. We're hearing that possibility of a puncture, in which case this late in the race, he'll just drive back to the pits.
Yeah, Pete Peterson again involved in an incident, running for third position early on with the Sunbeam of Tom Patton. They connected. Peterson's car launched skyward, came back down, and he continued on in fourth, lost that fourth position on the last lap.
Yeah, that it was amazing that he was able to even continue after that come together with Tom Patton's Sunbeam.
Peterson's out of it. Patton's out of it. We're getting word now that Mark Bowden might be out of it.
Now, that's amazing too. So maybe it wasn't tire at all. If that's the case, he could have had mechanical issues.
Or in that spin between gears, whatever you need to do as you're thrashing to get that car righted.
There's going to be one to go, and it's really shuffled the order at the top now. Godfrey, of course, still has the big lead.
Bowden is still on course. He is still in the second spot. We stand corrected on that. That is Mark Bowden running in second with one more circuit around. Bowden still in silver medal position.
Godfrey now just on the cruise. Nobody behind him that's really going to catch him anything. Almost 4 seconds back is the next place car, another 9964.
Godfrey, Bowden, and Cormier are in the medal positions. Then comes Mark Jurczyk up from seventh again. He ran second here last year. We saw Brooks Potter challenging early on for a top 5 run. He now gains back fifth. In sixth is Evan Bell in the 77. Then will come the number 60 machine of Tim Gray in that great battle again. That will heat up again for the seventh position in the late going here. Final circuit.
Well, these cars dicing a little bit loose. Coming off turn 8. Not turn 8, sorry.
That's Jurczyk and Potter now. That is for the fourth position. Coming down into turn 5. Love that speedy cam with the noise. I mean, that I love the audio. Love the sound of these race cars going full song down into 5. Mark Jurczyk out of Chicago, Illinois in that Porsche leading the battle for fourth here over the 03 of Brooks Potter from Boise, Idaho. The Olympics of amateur road racing coming to a head here in the Gumout GT2 National Championship race. Jim Godfrey, the leader now, will get in frame. He is leading now by this distance over Mark Bowden, who had the lead throughout the race, had it in hand, had pressure from behind from Godfrey. No contact, but he spun off a 6. And this now is the difference as Godfrey scooted on past them in the grass and got back on course to lead here. The final few corners.
Mark Bowden's car now, whatever the problem was, seems to be okay. He's actually made some ground, Jim Godfrey. If he can hold him off, this would be his fourth national title.
Most recent coming in 2008 in this GT2 category. Up the hill for the final time, Jim Godfrey from Houston, Texas to victory lane at the Gumout GT2 National Championship runoff race. Jim Godfrey gets the gold medal, a big fist pump inside that Nissan. Second to Mark Bowden. The national points champion will end up with a silver medal. Third will be the number 24 of David Cormier, and this is the battle for fourth. We'll watch this one to the finish.
And this can go right down to the wire. If neither guy makes a mistake, it's going to be a drafting contest.
Mark Jurczyk in an all-white Porsche leading that 03 machine of Brooks Potter now for the final time through 14. He's got enough distance here, didn't drop a wheel here, and it looks like Jurczyk may hang on to that position. A great run for that Illinois racer. Third in the Central Division. His highlight of the season will be this fourth place run at the National Championship race. He'll hang on to fourth. Fifth will go to Brooks Potter. And a great spirited drive by these two racers.
They had a good time. Never were separated by very much through that whole contest.
And again, bringing together the Midwest racers, the SoPac racers. There's a lot of cool things going on at the Runoffs all week long. And this is the battle for seventh position here, the 60. Again, racing continues on as Tim Gray from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, trying to hang on to that position. That red Porsche right behind him is the 71 of Gus Rosenberg from Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
One more corner to get it done. That's turn 14. Not enough, though, I don't believe.
Fourth to the seventh position here. Tim Gray finished fifth a year ago. He'll settle in for a hard-fought seventh-place finish. Eighth will go to Rosenberg. Ninth will be Crispin Bieber if he's able to make it around this course one more time. Again, the young man challenging up for his highest fifth. Putting on a show early and putting on a show late. These two race leaders on the warm-down lap, saluting the fans, saluting the corner workers here, working this SCCA national event. Jim Godfrey has bagged his fourth national championship. Mark Bowden again. Sportsmanlike manner. Hey, this was a great race, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as they did behind the wheel. We certainly enjoyed bringing it to you here on SpeedcastTV.com. And Goffrey will come up pit road. I'm sure they'll have a long discussion after this one over a couple of glasses of their favorite beverage, talking about what the race meant to them.
And I'm sure for Mark, that Porsche, just the rear tires got a little hot, started getting slippery. Jim Goffrey kept the pressure on, forced that spin. And for Mark, though, a good recovery, no doubt about that. That car looked like it was competitive again at the end. He got it gathered up and made a run.
Yep, Charlie Cook just came through the line in 9th, so Crispin Bieber lost one more spot. He finished up in the 10th position, or will, in this event.
And mechanical problems for that Mazda, I'm sure, because he really gave a good showing for himself.
Goffrey, Bowden, and Cormier, your top three, the three medal winners. Wasn't a matter if he was going to have a medal or not. Jim Goffrey has actually now scored his 11th podium finish in the runoffs in 25 tries, 17 within the top 10. So in terms of knowledge, strategy, pressure, certainly had a master run here.
And hats off to these guys for making it a green race and not having what we've seen so far this morning, which has been two big, huge delays due to early wrecks in these starts.
Absolutely. And again, Jim Goffrey pulling over here will do the top three. There's a victory podium celebration that will happen after we get a chance to speak with our front runners.
Not a mark on either car. That's always nice, too.
And they'll roll in here to the predetermined grid position. They'll take the top six, actually, bring them on a pit road, take them back to the tech barn, get them weighed, make sure they're within specification of this Gummout GT2 National Race category.
Very stringent rules here on these classifications of cars in the runoffs. And that the tech shed, the room of doom, is a hard thing sometimes to get through.
But think about it. It's keeping you fair. It's keeping it honest. And this is probably the most scrutinized event because,
it is. It is, definitely.
It's not a matter of who your favorites are or who you know in the tech shed. This is the rules, and it's black and white, not gray and off-white. All right, we are excited to hear from what our race winners had to say. We're going to talk to the gold, silver, and bronze medalists right now. We're going to throw it down to John Bizignano for our Mobile One winners interview. Biz, take it away.
Well, thanks, Jim. To another Jim, you just pulled in and said, boy, am I glad to be here, buddy. 25 starts and another championship. Congratulations. Bonnie, let's get the medal on this man. There it is. That looks better. Congratulations. What a drive.
Yeah, it was a tough race. If he didn't make a mistake, I thought he had us, but I think our tires held up better. These new Hoosier radials are fantastic, and I think he was on Dunlops or some other brand, but that's what made the difference. It was fantastic.
Now, when we talked on the grid, you were talking about how your car is lighter, point-to-point acceleration, he has higher speed, but you didn't mention that I'm just going to fill his rear-view mirror so full of Nissan that he's going to make a mistake.
And once I got the tires up to temperature, I was just driving every lap like a qualifying lap, and it paid off. I got behind him and had him watching his mirrors, and he finally made a mistake. So,
great strategy to a great victory. Congratulations, Jim, on another championship.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, back to the Porsche fall line. They've been dominating all week long, and in many classes. Mark, I've got to ask you. Dorsey said that he thought your rear tires were going off a bit several laps before the spin. What was it like trying to keep a hold of this thing?
The rear tires were it had enough. They said bye-bye around lap 7, and I was hanging on, and I was afraid to adjust to the changing track conditions in 6. 6 got slippery, and if I had taken a little bit more of an outside line, I'd have been better, but Jim was on me, and I really didn't have that luxury of making an adjustment, and just came around on me. So it was a great race. He drove a great race. He pushed really hard. The last lap, I said, I'm giving it everything, and I turned my fastest lap of the race by far, fastest lap of the whole weekend, and hung on for dear life. But that's the way championship should be run.
Well, it sounds like you made some adjustments to get the fastest lap all week long on your last lap.
I made adjustments to my psyche.
Once you spin like that, it's like, well, I don't have anything to lose, so let's just let it all hang out there.
Yeah. Congratulations to Jim. Thanks to all my guys at Fall Line. We got everything out of this car we could, and it's been a great season. 8 runs, 8 wins, and second place, and nothing wrong with finishing second to Jim Goffrey. He's a true champion.
Congratulations, and just a fabulous season. 8 wins and a silver medal here in Road America. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Third place man. Patience is something that most race cars drivers don't have. But I'll tell you, Dave, you showed some patience out there. You kept your car going the right direction the whole time. And what did you think when everyone in front of you started dropping off?
Well, I didn't really think they were dropping off. I thought I was passing them.
Well, obviously, but I mean, you were doing it right. You were keeping the car below you, and they were overextending themselves.
Well, I had a pretty good battle with Tom there and Pete there for a bit, and that really held me up. And once I got clear of those guys, I realized I really didn't have anything for the two guys in front. All I could do then was just pedal as hard as I can. Really want to thank my guys. I mean, Stan did an amazing job. Work with EFR this week. He did a great job helping me out. You know, the whole thing has just been an incredible experience. The guys at Gamroth putting my car together, I greatly appreciate it. We had some trouble early in the week, and the Kelly Boss boys stepped up and really helped us. I got to tell you, we had a lot of help and a lot of fun. Anytime you can be in a field where you got 4 national champions gritted ahead of you and get around a couple of those guys, you got to feel pretty good about that.
Well, as you say, a lot of help from a lot of good people. That's what goes into a bronze medal here. Congratulations on a great drive.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, guys, back to you.
All 7 of his races entered this year on the divisional level to come to the national championship, second in points and take home a bronze. And he set volumes there about the national championship and the respect he has for the racers he raced with and beat today.
A lot of competitors helped him out on mechanical issues they were having. Heard EFR, my old teammate, Elliot Forbes Robinson, was one of his coaches. Couldn't get a better guy than that. I didn't know Elliot was here. I wish I would have run into him.
Unofficial results for our Gummel GT2 category. Jim Goffrey, Bowden, and Cormier, your top 3 race runners. Mark Jersic came up to 4th. Brooks Potter had his best lap on lap 12 to finish 5th. Evan Bell, his quick lap was on lap 10. So good job by Evan as well to get a 6th-place finish in the national championship run. Tim Gray, Rosenberg, Cook, and Beaver, your top 10. We mentioned Crispin did not finish the race, but it will get credited for the 10th position. Then comes the rest of the field, including Pete Peterson and Tom Patton. Crashed while running for the 3rd position. They made contact in the kink, and that unfortunately led to their undoing here in this 13-lap national championship run in GT2.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gum Out.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrating.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.